The recession just cost him $500,000. What's going on, guys? I got my man Danny with me, man, and I appreciate having you back on the channel, man. Danny, what I want you to do, right? But because for some people it's gonna be the first time seeing you. Tell people a little bit about yourself and how long you've been in real estate.
So I've been wholesaling for about 5 years. I started in 2018. I actually started watching you and Max. So definitely shout out to you and Max.
Yeah, definitely shout out to my man Max, man.
Yeah, right. I mean, it's been a long time coming. So I've been wholesaling since 2018. Started off with bandit signs, worked my way up to, phone calls and SMS, and here we are 5 years later, and making decent money.
This year you're on track to do how much?
Roughly 1.5 million.
1.5 million. Okay, so guy became pretty successful. See, you guys, you gotta watch my stuff. You're in the Charlotte metro area. So
Yes.
for those saying you can't do it in Charlotte, he just started 5 years ago. So the guy's extremely successful. I bought some stuff from him before, and he's actually doing the business, man. He's a Duru. What are we on here, right? Because I see this house, I see this wooded area, but what do we have here?
So we're sitting on about 6.6 acres, and we're right in the middle of one of the most prime areas of Gastonia. This area surrounding is full of multifamily apartments, full of a lot of rentals. So this is a prime area to build an apartment complex. And you can fit about probably 30 to 60 units depending on how you build it.
So this is 6.6 acres, but you got this house with it. So where did this deal come from?
So this deal was actually driving for dollars, and I've actually been contacting this guy, or trying to get in contact with this guy for 2 years. So we finally got an actual friend of the family that directed us to who owned the property. And when we contacted him, he said, well, my mom adopted me, so I'm not a blood heir to the property, so I can't do anything with it. And we explained to him, no, if she legally adopted you, then you can sell the property. You are an heir. You are an official heir of the property. He told us what he wanted. He said he wanted only $47,000, and we said, yeah. We covered all his back taxes, and we purchased the property.
$47,000.
Yes.
Covered his back taxes, and was that included in the 47?
No, so the back taxes was about $12,000.
Yeah.
It's been sitting for like 10 years, and nobody's been paying them, so it came out to about, I think it was like 57,000, roughly, something like that.
57,000, and you got this house. Now, when you first got this property, what could I do with this? Like, what was your first thing?
So I didn't know how much land this actually came with. So my first intention was just, I saw the house, I wanted the house. And then when I realized what came with the house, I was like, okay, it's got some land with it. And just as we were getting this property under contract, we had just closed on an acre of land that I had sold, and we made $50,000 off of it. So I was like, okay, if it'll sell for at least, $100,000 an acre, let's just say it'll only sell for $50,000 an acre. I know that I can make at least maybe 150, 200,000. But the goal was actually only to make 100.
The goal was to make 100.
Yeah.
Okay. So now the goal is just like, all right, I got this 6.6. If I make 100,000, that's great.
Yeah.
Okay. What happens next?
So,
did you order the survey then or no? But you tell me what happened next.
So we actually started running comps on
Okay.
what's been selling in the area.
All right.
And then I found out, I was like, my thoughts on what I was gonna make were completely wrong. There's properties that have sold around here for over 100,000 an acre for about 150 to 200,000 an acre, meaning that this property would be worth $1.2 million sold as is, just the raw land.
$1.2 million, just
Yes.
the raw land.
Just the raw land.
Wow. Did you start doing backflips when you found that, or?
Not yet, because I've had deals blow up before.
Okay, all right.
I'm kind of used to seeing big numbers, and then they don't play out, or maybe they do play out. So I was like, okay, we need to line our ducks up and make sure that we can get this thing sold. So I went ahead, I put it on the MLS for 1.2 million, ordered the surveys, basically just started our process with trying to get this thing off.
Okay, so you're on the MLS. Tell me, what's happening now? What's happening now? Come on.
Nobody wanted it at $1.2 million because right now builders are scared to build, and they are not building like they were 3 to 4 months ago. We put this thing on the MLS in July, and interest rates just shot up within a week, and that was it.
So you had the comps, right? You had the comps to prove, to show like, yo, this is actually worth $1 million. However, due to interest rates shooting up, builders just backed off like, oh, let me see what's going to happen with the market. Let me see what's going to happen. Your comps went out the window.
Yeah.
Went out the window because now it's a different game, and developing is a lot different from traditional real estate than dealing with single family houses, because he's looking for a developer. So that's way different from dealing with single family houses. But fortunately, when I teach people, you bought right. You find out it's not selling at the $1 million is worth, 1.2 is worth. What do you do next?
I have Investor Lift. For those that don't know, Investor Lift is like, you can basically use their buyers that they have. They have a collective amount of buyers. It's like 3.8 million buyers nationwide. So we shot it out on Investor Lift for $700,000, and we got a bite. Initially, they offered $300,000, which was, I was like, okay, you know, now we're getting somewhere, and we worked them up all the way up to $500,000. So still a nice score. We would net like 400. I think it's like $440,000 roughly, after paying surveys and whatever else that we got to pay.
Okay.
And
And how much was the survey for this?
this survey was like $4,000.
Yeah, sound right. So $4,000 for the survey. Okay. Now tell me about Investor Lift. Is that like a program or anything?
So Investor Lift was developed by a group of guys that saw, I guess, a hole in the market of finding buyers and actually being able to link up with buyers, and also being able to successfully push out your deals. So it's mostly geared towards dispositions. We went on there, we pay $35,000 a year to be on there in their program, but they have smaller tiers there for people that are just starting out. What it does is you're able to push your deals out, and your deals are able to get to more people, and they're less likely to be labeled as spam, which is a problem that I have with MailChimp.
All
And-
that. We all do. Yeah.
We all have that problem with MailChimp. MailChimp gets everything marked as spam. So
Okay.
with their system, it's a lot easier. We could push out deals, and they make offers right there on Investor Lift, and they put their proof of funds and everything. So it's super easy for us.
Okay. All right. You're playing with this $500,000 offer.
Yes.
Are you guys on the contract? How does this work? Or are you guys just talking?
So right now, they already sent their letter of intent. We signed it. So they're still putting their, I guess, work in the background together to
Yeah.
see what we're going to actually do.
Okay.
And I mean, if it works out, great. If it doesn't, we'll figure out other ways to do something with this.
Before we end this video, I just want to back up sometime. I want to back up. How old are you today?
I'm 35.
35. 10 years ago, where were you at 25?
25, I was working in a call center in T-Mobile in South Florida.
Okay, the call center got you too.
Yeah, the call center got me too, man.
Yeah, that was the worst time period of my life.
Yeah.
I had some pretty terrible jobs, but them call centers was terrible by
I will
far.
never work in a call center as long as I live.
Bro.
That was the one and only time. It was 8 months of my life I'll never get back.
But when I have kids, bro, I'm gonna tell them like, yo, whatever y'all do, you don't want to work at no call center. Like, don't go to no call center. Like, yeah, that's terrible. Okay, so 10 years ago, you were in the call center. Fast forward 10 years later, you have a successful business, you have a loving family, selling this deal, potentially making somewhere 400K plus profit.
Yeah.
Now, did you see that 10 years ago?
I always knew, and this is, anybody that knows me, ever since I was 18, I was like, you know what, I'm going to be a millionaire by the time I'm 40. I have no idea how I'm going to do it, but I'm going to figure out a way how to do it. And I always knew the possibility was there, but I felt like maybe my mindset was restricting me from being able to see that I could actually accomplish something like that. And it took me a long time. It took me until I was 30 to really realize, hey, I can do more for myself than what I think I can do. And I started reading. That was my biggest thing. Started reading books like Rich Dad Poor Dad, Richest Man in Babylon, Think and Grow Rich, and that opened up my mind completely to really understand, like, hey, you can really make money. You're not restricted to the chains of your past ancestors or your mom, your dad, where they came from. You don't have to follow in their footsteps. You can make something for yourself.
He without vision shall perish. The guy had vision, the guy had confidence, and it took him to 30 to wake up and say, man, I can do more. And he did more, and he got more. If you want something out of life, you got to do something different. If nothing changes, nothing changes, okay? If whatever you complain about today, you can be complaining about a year or 10 years from now if nothing changes. So something has to change, okay? And you have to have a vision of what you want in your life. 10 years ago, his vision wasn't from A to B. You know what I mean? It wasn't clear, but he had some vision. Like, yo, I'm gonna be a millionaire. I don't know how, I'm gonna just do it. Sometimes it starts like that. You know, not everybody starts with being, hey, listen, I'm gonna do real estate, I'm gonna be a real estate investor, etc. That's how I started, but that's not how everybody started. Okay? Now look at the guy. You gotta have vision, and he has confidence, and he knows how to talk. Even though the call center has scarred both of us, you know, it did help us in regards with communication. He knows how to talk, he knows how to articulate himself, because those what some things in the call center you will learn. You know what I mean? You can't tell those customers what you really want to tell them. Because you really want to tell them something. You really want to tell them something. However, but you have to follow policy and procedure. All right, so Danny, wrapping this video up, bro. How do people get in touch with you on social media?
You can hit me up, Dan Buys Houses, on YouTube, as well as Instagram, dan.buys.houses. You'll see my face, so there's no mistaking on who it is. You can email me as well, dan.buys.instagram@gmail.com.
And that's how you get in touch with him, man. And again, he made 400. He's potentially could make 450K plus just driving for dollars. I've been telling you how to do it. I drove for dollars. That's how I got started. He's a beast at it. So, and that's what he's doing. But you guys just got to do the work, because you got to be willing to do more. I'm Nasser, aka the real estate guru. Not a guru. I'm a guru because I actually do this business. You know, and be sure to click on the videos that are next to me and watch those two. Stay on the channel. To everybody who made this far, thank you. And I want you to comment below. 10 years from now, what do you see yourself? Peace.